I am delighted to be joined on the phone by the writer, director and star of Prevenge, Alice Lowe. How are you doing, Alice?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. It's very nice to speak to you this morning. As Sightsee is one of my favourite films. To speak to you is a great honour, so thank you for doing so.
Oh, pleasure.
So, Prevenge. It sounds crazy. Could you tell us a little bit about it, please?
It is quite crazy.
Yeah.
It's about a pregnant woman who takes revenge on a kind of revenge spree. It's a dark comedy. It's sort of violent at times and sad at other moments and funny at other points. And I actually directed it and starred in it while I was 7.5 months pregnant. So there's no prosthetics involved, it's an actual bump.
No. Not many filmmakers would do that. Not many filmmakers would actually go out and use the pregnancy as part of the film, or even, go out and make a film. So what inspired you to actually go and do this? What motivated you?
I felt like it was kind of born of necessity, really, because I'd been wanting to make a film for a while, and it just was taking a really long time. And someone came to me and said, look, there's an opportunity to make a film, low budget, anything you want to do. And I was like, oh, this is really bad timing because I'm actually 6 months pregnant, so I can't really do it. And then I went away and thought, hang on, what if I just came up with a pregnant character? And the story of Prevenge came into my head. And I went back to the company and pitched it to them, and they loved it. And I was like, we'd have to film it in the next 2 months. And they were like, fine. Which really surprised me because I thought that every step of the way, I thought they were going to say, we can't do this, we can't get insurance or whatever. But actually, it all happened really smoothly. And it was really strange. It was like it was meant to be or something. And then I was making a feature.
Yeah. So it all happened quite fast then?
Yeah, very fast. So I was 6 months pregnant when I came up with the idea, and then I wrote it in about a week, and then by the time I was 7.5 months pregnant, we were filming.
Well,
yeah,
it's amazing, really. But between this and Sightseers, both films with a dark twisted edge towards them, which you wrote both of, should we be a bit worried, Alice?
Yeah, I think the psychiatrist should probably be called. I don't know. I think my sense of humour is quite dark anyway, and I think horror is obviously a very cinematic genre. It just means that there's somewhere to put your work. Like there's lots of horror festivals. There's lots of, it's quite a commercial genre, and I kind of feel like I could write a gentle drama that had no violence in it but it wouldn't.
But where's the fun in that?
It wouldn't be. Yeah, it wouldn't be sort of cinematic. It wouldn't have a kind of. I like to sort of show things rather than just telling.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the way through.
So the film's done tremendously well. Obviously, played at London Film Festival October. You've been nominated for the Douglas Hickox Award at the BIFAs back in December.
Yeah.
And now it's going across the whole country. What's that like, being going across the whole of the UK, kind of showing the film off before its release? What's that experience been like for you?
Oh, it's been brilliant, actually. It's so nice. Like yesterday, we're still in Glasgow, but it was really a brilliant crowd, and people were asking like quite weird questions, which was really refreshing.
It's
for
what
me,
you want, isn't it?
The worst thing is like that I'm trotting out the same old stuff that anyone could watch on YouTube, or do you know what I mean? An interview. I don't want it to be the same. The whole point of me being there is that people ask me different things that they're interested in. So, like, someone asked me if I had ever seen a ghost yesterday, and then another person asked me about playing a monkey in Garth Marenghi and said,
"Did
you do any research for playing that monkey?" And I was like, "Yes, I did actually," and that was quite fun to talk about, and it was quite funny as well. The last thing I want is to like do a really boring kind of Q&A. I'm sort of like want people to laugh and stuff. You don't want to. I mean, sometimes you get people who are filmmakers in the audience. They might want to ask you something a bit more technical, and that's cool as well. But you want there to be a variety of things, and that's the whole point of me doing these Q&As is so that people can have their different reactions and responses to the film. So far, it's just been brilliant.
Is that you setting a challenge for the Tyneside Cinema then to get the weirdest questions?
Yeah,
Has
I think that's
the gauntlet's been
that's
thrown
the gauntlet
down?
I'm throwing down. Yeah, I think so, because it was actually the curveballs were made it really entertaining, and the audience were really laughing and enjoying it as well. And in some ways, it might inform the film a bit better as well, because sometimes people can say, "Oh, how do you come up with the idea?" And I'm like, I don't know how I come up with my ideas. I have no idea. But if like someone asks me about a different project, then maybe they start to see like patterns in my work or whatever, or you know, because I was like, oh yeah, when I first started out, I really wanted to play animals in shows, and that was all I wanted to do. And everyone found that really amusing. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd forgotten that had been my thing. That I used to actually sort of be scared of playing humans. I used to only want to play like weird creatures and stuff.
But that's another thing. You spoke to The Guardian, said you didn't want to be pigeonholed as a crying mother kind of role when you get that stage in your career. Was Prevenge a kind of attempt to sort of subvert that expectation of people? Yeah,
definitely. I would say so. I mean, I kind of just felt like I do feel like it's sort of a out-of-body experience. I mean, it's an out-of-body experience being pregnant, but sometimes it's an out-of-body experience being an actress. It's like the way that people perceive you is completely different to how you perceive yourself. So, for example, you know, if Benedict Cumberbatch walked into an audition or a meeting, people are going, wow, this is a powerful guy that's at the top of his game, you know, Oscar-nominated or whatever. And an actress of the same age could walk into the same room and people are going, right, what we're going to do with you? Because, you know, you're at the end of your career. And it's just interesting to have that sort of shift in how people perceive you, because I kind of think of myself as being like, I had a lot of underconfidence early in my career about what I was doing and whether I was any good at what I was doing, whether I was allowed to be doing it. And I've got to a stage now where A, I don't really care what people think, but B, I feel like, well, I've got enough skill and experience now that even if it's not your taste, I know that I execute what I do well. And so I kind of feel like I'm at the top of my game in terms of my work, and I'm like, but that's so weird that someone else would perceive me as not interesting on screen, or, you know, or like there's no characters for you to play because, you know, we don't put women of over 35 on screen unless someone's twisting her arm, you know, and I don't know, I just kind of felt like I want to write a character that people don't associate with being this type of person.
Yeah. Is it possible to monopolise that market of, as what you said, evil weirdo that murders people?
I don't know. I think there's some other actresses out there that, you know, give me a run for my money.
Who inspired you writing the character?
Who inspired me?
Yeah.
Real people, or...
I suppose, yes. Real people, other performers.
Oh, it's tricky. I don't think... really, it was kind of an alter ego that I was being inspired by. There wasn't... I think I kind of looked at Rosemary's Baby and I was like, I want to write the opposite of what Mia Farrow's character is.
Right, yeah.
Because to me, she's like very unaware of what's going on, like to an almost pathologically naive degree. And I just wanted to write someone that was the opposite of that, who was much darker and more cynical and nihilistic in a way. And so I think it was born out of what I felt was missing in terms of female characters on screen, rather than, oh yeah, it's a bit like this or a bit like that. I was kind of like, why hasn't someone done something like this? I mean, actually, Travis Bickle was one of the inspirations, because I was like, why aren't there any female loner characters? Or it's very rare to see like outsider kind of characters that are women. And also the likability question, where people are always like, is this female character likable enough? And I always say, well, no one ever says that about Travis Bickle.
No.
And the more that I said that, the more I was like, well, why don't we have a female Travis Bickle and just see how people react to that? So it's kind of a bit of an exercise in that way, really.
So is it the same sort of thing in Prevenge, where you are the protagonist, but there's still that kind of questionable morals?
I guess so. I mean, I really like underdog characters, and I really like outsider characters, and I like stories of sort of people coming to power in a way from nothing, and you know, sort of subverting their destiny and transforming a little bit. So there's some similar DNA there, but I mean, in Sightseers, I sometimes say like Tina and Chris are children, really. They're sort of really stupid in some ways, in a quite sweet way in some ways, that they're very simple in their drives and stuff and their pursuit of happiness, whereas I think Ruth is a bit more of a grown-up. It's like she's seen how dark the world is, and she's, there's no rose tinting to her outlook at all. She's very much more like a grown-up, I think.
So this is the first time you've stepped behind the camera to direct a film, and you've obviously worked with Ben Wheatley before. What was it like? What was it like to do that kind of changeover from actor writer to being actor director and writer? And was Ben Wheatley's influence felt at all?
I mean, for me, it's quite interesting. People often ask about directing, going from acting to directing. To me, it's like I'm in the same workplace. Mm-hmm. It's just like a small promotion. So it doesn't feel, some first-time directors have never even stepped foot on set. They might be directing their first ever thing, and they've never been on set before. Whereas I've been on set for like nearly 17 years. So when I step on set, I'm like, I know what everybody does. I know pretty much what the equipment does. I'm sort of really comfortable, so I just feel like, this is normal. I get a bit of nervous about directing other actors, because I get a bit like, I don't want to tread on anyone's toes. But apart from that, I feel pretty comfortable, and I'm also in this really lucky sort of situation where I've been to like the best film school in the world, and that I've worked with loads of really amazing directors.
Yeah.
So I can kind of cherry pick what my favourite methods of working have been, and go, well, this is how I like to do stuff, and this is how, and it's sort of a combination of lots of different people that I've worked with in the past, I think, where I've really learned a lot from them, and kind of learned how I want to work.
So some of the other actors you directed in this film, Kate Dickie, Gemma Whelan, Joe Hartley, Kevin Novak, Tom Davis, lots of great British talent that came together. Was that kind of your decision? Were they all happy to help along? Was it like, what kind of experience was it bringing them on to the film?
Well, everyone was just in for one day.
Right.
So it was a very, very short amount of time to develop the characters and stuff. And in a way, I quite like that, because all the characters are strangers to the lead character. You want to maintain a kind of tension and nerves throughout the scene, which hopefully grips you throughout the film. So I don't really want everyone to feel entirely comfortable. A lot of those people are my really good friends, and I know they're all amazing improvisers, and that they've got that skill set. So I knew they'd come in and like land on their feet, but at the same time I was like, I don't want them to kind of come in and feel like, I know exactly what's going on. It's like a lot of them had not seen the rest of the script, they'd seen just their scene. And so they were coming in not knowing what the whole of it was going to be, and just kind of, I just wanted it, people say there's no small parts, only small actors, but I was like, I don't want any of these parts to be small. They're not, they're all really significant, and these people have to feel completely three-dimensional, like they've got a whole backstory, and we could even watch a whole film about them if we wanted to.
Right.
So I just really had, I had these amazing actors who just came in, and then just when they were doing the script, I was just like, oh my god, they're all amazing, because they kind of really made it feel like it was so natural and just coming spontaneously to them.
Well, it's good.
And then we did do some improvisation around the script as well that added some really good stuff, and kind of, kept it surprising for me as well, because obviously I was acting in it. I'm kind of there going, I want to feel surprised as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to feel like I know totally what's going on every second.
There was a film last year that you starred in, Black Mountain Poets, which I know my co-host Ryan's a very big fan of, and we've heard a lot about how it was improvised and how it was entirely improvised, pretty much, including the sort of story when you got onto the mountains. Is that true? Was it all off the cuff, pretty much?
I would say pretty much. I mean, Jamie would sort of give us a scene brief where he's kind of go, okay, this is where you do a poetry session, and that would be it. So we sort of in a building going, right, we've got to do a poetry session now, and we just had to do some poetry, and then stuff would just come to us. I mean, I think it was really lucky, and this is one of the reasons I was really keen to do it, was people like Dolly Wells is a really good writer, as well as an amazing actress, and I kind of felt like there's a really good safety net here that we're all writers, so if we feel something's going a bit askew, we can kind of steer it. And I actually really enjoyed that, because it's someone really challenging you to think on your feet, and And it actually gave me massive confidence to do my own film. I was like, oh, actually, I'm really surprised how well this has gone down, and people have really responded to this. Because I think this improvisation gives a real freshness to it as well, and people really feel like, oh, I'm watching something different here. It's really woken me up. It makes them look at the screen and go, what is this? The freshness of the tone and stuff. So I kind of went away and was like, oh, I've been really thinking that making a film was something I had to spend a long time building up to, and actually I should just get out there and do it. And that really helped me to sort of go, oh, maybe I'm quite good at this.
Yeah. There's one very key component of Prevenge that we've not mentioned yet, and that's of course your baby daughter, who was on screen before she was even born. When are you going to show her the film? Is there a right time?
When she's 26.
26?
I think.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the perfect age, I think.
Right, okay.
Because, I don't know, I think actually she probably could watch it when she's a bit younger, because she's going to be really trained in horror, just because her parents are big horror fans. So I think she'll be fine, as long as she knows that I like her and the film isn't about her.
Yeah.
I think that's what we have to prime her.
Yeah, I suppose you don't want to make her feel like she was the one doing all the murders, I suppose.
No, exactly.
Obviously, being pregnant on set, did you learn anything about motherhood while you made the film? Obviously, becoming a mother, being on set.
I think being on set, I didn't really learn anything about being a mother, because I was kind of forgetting that I was even pregnant. I was like, brilliant, this is amazing, I'm enjoying myself so much, I love directing, this is great, I love all these people, and what fun I'm having. And then it was more like I finished directing and went, oh my god, now I've got to have a baby, and I don't even know anything about that. But yeah, after I'd had the baby, I was like, oh, actually, babies are quite nice, and they're not, she's like a really, really nice baby, which makes me feel guilty, because I'm like, I've made a film about an evil baby. She's like a really easygoing baby. So I came out of the whole thing going, oh, I've made a film about how horrible motherhood is, or pregnancy, and actually I had a really nice time. So it's not necessarily an instruction manual about pregnancy at all. It's more like I put all my fears into the film, and then my fears were exorcised in a way.
That's good. So what are you hoping audiences, especially the ones at the Tyneside Cinema on Wednesday, what do you think you can get out of Prevenge?
I hope that they feel like they've seen something really fresh and original that they haven't seen anything quite like before. And I hope they laugh and cry and are scared and make really weird noises in the cinema, which I have witnessed the audience do that. They make really weird noises at certain points, which is very enjoyable.
Well, we'll be there. We're very excited to see the film. Alice Lowe, thank you so much for Sightseers, first of all, because I love it so much.
Brilliant.
But thank you in advance for Prevenge as well, and hopefully whatever comes next is fantastic as well. So thank you very much, Alice.
Oh, thank you. Great to speak to you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.